Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today, September 18th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. We got the state of California where I'm circling to the upper right. You can see the remnants of Mario moving across the state, bringing some thunderstorms across the region. We'll check out those details. And if you take a look down to the south, we got a next batch of tropical moisture. It's going to be moving up towards the state of California as well as we go through the early portion of next week. You see some deep convection associated with that, starting to look a little bit more organized here as we go through this morning. Now, taking a look here at in the overnight hours and on in through this morning, you can see Riverside and San Bernardino County just getting pretty hammered here with some of this rainfall activity. We did get some lightning strikes across some of western Los Angeles, Ventura, towards Santa Barbara, and some of Monterey County getting some lightning strikes here this morning as well. And again, kind of hit and miss nature with this storm as was expected, but some areas could see some very heavy rainfall over the next couple of days. So it's not too late to grab one of these before we start to head into our fall season, where weather does start to get more active here, of course, across the west coast of North America. Very fun weather station, has a great smartphone app, lightning detection system, stores all the data for you in the cloud for the price. You simply cannot beat this weather station. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. So back to the forecast here, we do have a mesoscale precipitation discussion that includes, again, portions of Riverside and San Bernardino County, Imperial County as well, and some of the transverse and the peninsula range, subject to some of these higher rainfall rates. Gradual increase in coverage, and they're worried about some flash flooding potential as we go through the mid-afternoon hours. Some of these rainfall rates could approach 1 to 2 inches per hour by mid-afternoon, and some totals as high as 2 to 4 inches. And you know what that does for some locations in the desert. You can get some of that flooding and some road washouts as well. So yeah. Take a look at that if you want. Again, that's the Weather Prediction Center putting out these mesoscale precipitation discussions. Now, the day one excessive rainfall outlook does cover this area quite nicely, and this moves up into some of the San Joaquin Valley here as well, where we're getting some rainfall right now. Let me know if you're getting any rumbles of thunder out there as you go through the day today for places like Modesto and Fresno, Bakersfield, east of the mountains there as well, up towards Las Vegas, some portions of western Arizona. And then we go to day two, and you notice it does include the foothills of the Sierra Nevada, and the marginal does extend into the Sacramento and the San Joaquin Valley, including tomorrow. Now, tropical Thursday here, a nice graphic from the National Weather Service. Las Vegas, frequent lightning, heavy rain, roadway flooding, damaging wind. So watch out if you're out and about, especially on Interstate 40, 15. Be careful out there because there's a lot of rainfall going. And just because it's not raining at your location does not mean it's not raining pretty hard somewhere just down the line. Now, this is Los Angeles. We do still have flood watches here for the higher terrain, and looks like the worst of the rainfall has moved across some of the San Gabriel, Santa Monica Mountains, some of the higher terrain right along the immediate coastline there. But there could be another round, kind of a lower chance of some additional thunderstorms moving up from the south as we go through the day today, so I don't want to sleep on that. And storm total rain, again, this is probably going to be a bit more variable than what is showing right here, but you can kind of see a nice rainfall coming across the region there, but nothing too extreme overall. But you could still get some of these heavier showers, can definitely bump up these amounts quite quickly. And you see the heavier amounts as you go down further south across the Sierra Nevada there. And you can see Sonora between half an inch and an inch. Now, they put this down to 80%. I don't know. It looks pretty well organized right now, but they're not classifying it as a tropical cyclone just yet. We'll look at some of the models here in a moment, but that would be named Narda if that does come to fruition. And you can see all the way through the year 2030, we have all these storms named out here for the eastern North Pacific. Now, taking a look at the ATCF guidance, it does show this system moving up here, but this is just all academic anyway. We're not really worried if it's a tropical storm or not, because the deep moisture with this system is what's going to have the biggest impacts on the state of California here over the next few days on in through early next week. And you can see a lot of the models don't even show it becoming a tropical storm, but again, that will not be the big impact. We're not expecting any kind of big winds from the tropical storm itself. You can get some bigger winds with the thunderstorm activity, but not from the tropical storm. Now, here's Mario. This is where we are right about now. This is the European as of last night, and I put this into motion, and you can see that moisture spreading up and across the state. And you also see the next tropical batch of moisture here approaching from the south. It starts to move up, and it starts to tangle with this upper level low, again throwing some more moisture back up across California as we go through Monday night and on into Tuesday. Look at that one. Once it spreads some of that all the way up into Northern California, potentially even towards Oregon. But yeah, it could bring another another round of some rainfall. Again, depending on just where the strongest precipitation rate set up and where the axis of this low and where the best tropical moisture and the best forcing comes back across the region. So lots to watch with that next system. Again, kind of be a big hit and miss nature with this storm as well. Some people not going to see much. Some people could see some very heavy rainfall. And the GFS, let's see if it shows the same thing. Well, there's Mario moving over us right now. And the next system, you can kind of see the upper level low is right there, right off of San Diego. And it does spin some of that back over only Northern California or Southern California. It does not spread that back over Northern California. And then we scroll off into the future because the GFS and the extended forecast always has some interesting stuff. And you can see another tropical system approaching Cabo a little closer there as well. That could spread some moisture back up into the desert Southwest, maybe clipping portions of California as well, but that's way off into fantasy land. Artificial intelligence, there's Mario, and there is the next system there, kind of in between what the European and the GFS was showing. But again, active weather on in through next week potentially, and then maybe that next system out there, you can kind of see it right to the west there of Baja California. Now, the European, as we go through the day today, you can see some of these big hit and miss going on here. Some areas getting 1, 2 inches or more for some locations, and some areas not seeing too much there. So this does a good job kind of highlighting that. And look at this as we go on in through the very early morning hours of Friday morning up towards the Bay Area. It shows some heavy rainfall. So this is kind of highlights the potential for some of this heavier rainfall in some areas not getting much at all. So I don't want to concentrate on just where this is showing up right now, but this could really target anywhere across the Sacramento Valley, some of the coastal range, all the way up towards Northern California as we go on into Friday and Saturday. We'll look at that and the high resolution models here over the next couple of days. So here as we go through this morning, again, you can see this the thunderstorm activity here, again, mainly east of the mountains. But again, we got a nice coverage of rain here moving across some of the San Joaquin Valley, Bakersfield, Fresno, up towards Modesto. And then you can kind of see this hangs out for places like Fresno over the next few hours, all the way on in through the nighttime here, and kind of training over the same area. So that's why they did put that slight risk out for today. And then this comes across the Sierra Nevada. You can imagine the spin in the atmosphere. Wherever the best forcing trains over any given area, we have the potential for flooding. And we scroll on in through Saturday morning here as well. Sometimes the North American model doesn't pick up a lot of this convection here, but you can see some showers still popping off. And if we look at the North American total precipitation in inches, again, you look off across portions of San Bernardino, extreme eastern Los Angeles, Orange County there across the higher train. You can see these really heavy rainfall amounts. So be very careful if you're out and about today. And some of that moving up right across the San Joaquin Valley could be some very heavy rainfall rates. So you can imagine you're a little bit further to the west of this. And you're like, I didn't get anything, and then somebody off to your east got absolutely hammered, and there was some street flooding or whatnot, and the road got washed away. So that's going to be the nature of this storm, and potentially the next one go on in through next week. And lightning strike potential, again, kind of showing you this here. You can see some of that lightning mainly east of the mountains there and across the higher terrain, but some of that could move up across places like Bakersfield and some of the valley areas, also into portions of the Sierra Nevada as we go through tonight. So I'm going to update this. Well, I don't know we're going to get much out of this here because you can kind of see how the temperatures are suppressed today because of the cloud coverage across southern and central California. Then we go through the next couple of days. Again, these clouds are going to be wreaking havoc with some of these high temperature forecasts over the next few days. And we get the next tropical system moving up here. So I wouldn't put too much stock into these temperatures just yet. 6 to 10 day, an entire lower 48 below normal, above normal for the West Coast. That should make sense with what we just saw. And check out the Patreon page if you like. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.